Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Tech Sheck episode 8. Lovely to see everybody back here again. And once again, we are hearing about the difficult situation with COVID, particularly in Pakistan. We wish you and your families the best at this difficult time. Please stay safe. Here in the United States, we're also seeing a little bit of an uptick in the situation, but Godspeed, we'll get through this. Today, I have another interesting young man with us joining us from Pakistan, who's trying to revolutionize the way things get funded in Pakistan. I'd like to introduce Omar Ghani from Trioca Ventures.
Thank you for inviting me and giving me the opportunity.
Awesome, awesome. So, Omar, let's just do a quick overview. Tell us a little bit about Trioca. What are you trying to do here?
Right. So Trioca basically, Farouk, is an advisory firm. Trioca has launched one initiative, which is the Pakistan National Investor Portal. And I'm going to focus a bit more about that initiative of Trioca Ventures. Pakistan National Investor Portal, as of last Friday, has been licensed by SECP within their sandbox regulations as the first crowd fund for Pakistan. The inspiration behind Trioca and the inspiration behind Pakistan National Investor Portal essentially was to work with young entrepreneurs and to help them get investment ready.
Excellent. That's a great initiative. And it seems like you and I were thinking along the same lines when we came about with these ideas, and as you know, TechSheck has really been designed to help the diaspora understand better what's actually happening in the Pakistan startup world. So this is excellent and great to hear about, Omar. So moving along a little bit, Omar, and the thing is, what I'm finding very quickly in Pakistan is there's a lot of different initiatives. There's a lot of people that are very active. It's really nice and cool to see all that vibrancy in the country. So do you have a competitor base that you know of right now?
I mean, see, so in this case, as you know, it doesn't take long for anyone to kind of integrate vertically or horizontally and move into, a lot of people getting into incubation, doing incubation related activities, and very easy. In fact, it's a natural evolution to anyone's business. But as you know, in Pakistan's landscape, crowdfunding regulations did not exist, and SECP has just come up with a regulatory framework. And even the license that we've been given by SECP, it's a limited license during the sandbox period, after which they will open the license and invite others to join. So there could be more people joining, the crowdfunding space, and that's how markets evolve. At the moment, we feel we are the primary, we are the only one that SECP has licensed, but time will tell who else will enter.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So as you're aware of right now, there's nobody else really that has this approval and this capability through the government.
That's correct.
Okay, great. Good to know. Good to know. So based on all this, Omar, and I know you're a former banker and you've probably thought through this and crunched your numbers. Have you put any thought into what the numbers would look like over the next 3 years? What do you think you're going to try to achieve here?
Right. So the revenue model here, it's multifold. Within Pakistan National Investor Portal, the primary revenue base comes from commissions in successfully executing transactions. So last year, Pakistan raised for startups in the tune of about $30 million. We expect that this market size will continue to grow because $30 million by any means is not a big number for a country with 220 million population. Sure. If you look at India raised something in the tune of almost 100 times more than what we did. So if we were to kind of match up with India, then we really would need to. But in India's case, if you look at the contribution the non-resident Indians made was significant. In our case, the diaspora, we feel have not really joined the space as strongly as the non-resident Indians did in lifting their startup ecosystem. So assuming that our diaspora connects with Pakistan and this market size and continues to grow, and if we assume that in the next year we end up raising, let's say, about $50 million for our startups, and Pakistan National Investor Portal being the primary one, being the only one at this particular point in time, if we conservatively assume that 1/4 of what is raised for startups is raised to PNIP. So if we take that assumption, then let's assume that about $10 million is raised to PNIP. Uh,
Right.
we have a model where we're going to be charging roughly around 3%, 3% on what we raise, even though the standard globally is higher, on crowdfunding portals. They can charge up to 7%, but we are tending to charge slightly less here. So we are assuming 3%. And if we charge 3% on 10 million, then we have roughly in the tune of about 300,000 US dollars of commission coming in.
Okay, that's great. This is, it seems like a very much needed capability inside of Pakistan, and I'm really glad that you're undertaking this initiative. This is certainly a labor of love for all of us. There's probably a lot easier ways to make money, but I think this is something that ends up benefiting the country. And one thing that I've been seeing, and I what I really enjoy now after doing several of these episodes is the raw talent that we have inside the country. And what I'm finding is that having that talent allows us the ability to start building and creating wealth within our own country. And thank you, Omar, again for facilitating this. And this is a great effort and initiative on your part. So my last question for us, Omar, is, and that's what the audience is always usually interested in, is what's the ask here? What does Trioca want? What are you guys looking for?
Right. So Trioca, when Trioca was set up, at that particular point in time, I was the secretary of the Prime Minister's steering committee to design a program for Pakistan at the national level called Startup Pakistan, in which the ultimate goal was to create a model of Silicon Valley in Pakistan without borders, a digitally connected ecosystem. And I'd invited a leading global incubator, virtual incubator, to come in and build the digital infrastructure needed to create that digitally connected ecosystem. And we felt that the incubator, the virtual incubator, would look at the demand side, will try to create a pipeline. Their fiduciary responsibility at the end lies in ensuring the interests of the startups or the founders, entrepreneurs, is safeguarded and maximized. But I felt that when you create a market, you have to look at both sides, the demand and supply. So you needed a platform that could look at the interests of the investor on the other side, where the fiduciary responsibility lies towards the investor, not the startup. And when you transact between a startup and an investor and you strike a deal, if you're an incubator, you'll be trying to maximize the valuation of the startup company if you're an incubator. But if you're representing the interest of an investor, you'd want to get your valuation at the lowest possible so that you can get a larger chunk of the equity for the investment you're putting in that company. But there was no platform that was developed for the investors. And when you develop a platform for the investors, it's not just as simple as running a few trainings and providing some investment readiness. You also got to ensure that the money of the investor is safeguarded at all times. That you provide the investor the trustee, the custodial, the registrar services. Someone, if they're investing their money in a company, you've got to make sure that all the share purchase agreements are signed and the shares are transferred before the money is taken from investor's account and given to the startup. So someone has to be doing that at the back end.
Omar, again, thank you very much. Great initiative that you have here. Good to see that there's this thought process going in to try to develop better the investment ecosystem to protect all parties and help develop the startups on the ground. So very good effort on your part, and we really appreciate that. Personally, I do too. And to our audience out there, thank you very much for tuning in. As you can see, we've gone through episode 8. We're going to keep building on this. We really appreciate your patronage. I want to thank our sponsors, Celeritas Solutions, TechLogix, and Open Silicon Valley. If you have more questions about this particular concept, or you want to get in touch with us with an idea, or you have ideas for investment, please send us an email at start, STARTKARO @techsheck.net. And with that, thank you very much, Omar, for joining us. To our audience, be well, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Allah Hafiz.